see. Okay. Hi ladies, welcome. We are so excited about our upcoming boudoir mini session we have with you this coming Friday. I just want to do a quick little video with just some general 101 posing. Those of you who've had a session with me before know that we always do a posing crash course 101 before we even start, so you know how to pose. We don't get that opportunity with our boudoir minis, so I want to do a little video so that way you can still have that option. So couple things to think about when we're posing. I love curves and body and creating curves. So when we're posing, I always like one leg up higher than the other. Obviously you can't do that when you're standing, so we do that by simply putting your toes together, popping up to one toe, letting that leg drape over. We have a nice little curve there. See, that looks a little bit better versus here. So that's one thing. And the reason why I drape the leg over, because for some odd reason, we just tend to sit up a little bit taller. You'll always hear me tell you to relax the shoulders and roll the shoulders back and stick the girls out. When we're sitting, how we do that? A simple, I love one leg up higher than the other. So it could look something like this. It could look like that. It could be like that. It could be like this. Notice one thing, I'm coming up on my toes. Again, the reason why I do that, we sit up taller when we do that, coming up on those toes. If you're wearing heels, you can't do that, so you go to the heels and point down. Second thing you'll notice, my knees are always pinned together. Looks just a little bit better when you're here with the knees together versus here looks a little bit lazy. So you'll hear me tell you, I'll show you where I want you to pose, but one leg's always gonna be up higher than the other. The knees will be together. If we have no shoes on, we come up on the toes, take the heels off. If we have heels on, or come up to the toes, take the heels off the ground. If we have heels on, you put the heels on the ground and point the toes down. Hands follow the same suit. One's gonna be higher than the other, whether it be here, there, here. I like things symmetry off center. So I will tell you how to place your hands and where to place them, but just know one's gonna be slightly higher than the other. Fingers. I don't like pointing with the finger. It looks like you're pointing to a zit or you're thinking, I prefer to use my ring or my middle finger, my ring finger, my pinky, and I flick the wrist out, and it is a light caress. Something as simple as that. If we're pulling and tugging, I usually tug with the shoulder or with the thumb on the shoulder right there. So that you'll hear me tell you, do that. Working the shoulder forward. Working the shoulder forward is something as simple as you always want to make sure that we have a nice, tall, proud chest, pulling the shoulders away from the ears, but we need to work that shoulder forward a little bit. So I have it down and then I just work it forward just a little bit. That just looks a little better than versus here. Looking down right there. Pinning the elbow to the face. You'll hear me say that a lot. When you're laying down, whether it be on our other set that we have on the bed, when you're laying down on the bed and you just have your arm there, it looks like you're sleeping. But if you pin that elbow to the face, it just looks a little bit more sexier versus here. Plus, we've got chicken wing here. We don't want that. So just like that. So when you hear me say pin the elbow to the face, that's what that means. When you grab your hair or put your hand in your hair, you want to like bring the hand around. Sometimes I'll have you go underneath, but you don't want to push. We don't want to push on the face. It is a nice light hover, things like that. Chin forward and down. We talk about this a lot in our sessions. Chin forward and down looks like this. Just like that. You'll hear me say that a lot. I'll tell you, chin forward and look down your right shoulder line. Chin forward, turn. Think of your head as being on a swivel. Keeping that head straight up and down. Left shoulder line. Reason why we do that, we don't want to tilt our head this way and we don't want to tilt it forward unless I'm on the ladder and I need you to, because I want a nice profile line here. If I do that, let me see if I can get down. If I say chin forward, look down that right shoulder line, I've lost my eye. Here I've given you a big forehead. Here we see a nice profile line. I might say, work that left shoulder forward. So something like that. So that's what chin forward and down means. Let's see what else we need to know. I'm trying to think of all the poses because mainly them are going to be on the bed set. With this one, we'll be sitting and standing a lot. And we don't have the full set here, so don't mind this. When you're laying on your back, I'm going to try and get this for you when you're laying on your back. The knees follow the same thing how I was talking about. You still, one leg's gonna be slightly higher than the other, but you don't want your legs like this because that just looks sloppy. But if you're here, I'm up on my toes, I've brought my heels up and I pinned my knees together. That just looks a little bit better. Here's where I was talking about that hand looks like it's sleeping. Here it just looks a little bit better. I'm pulling my shoulders away and I'm working that shoulder forward. Doesn't that look much sexier than here? That just looks better. When you arch your back, I'm gonna try and arch my back. I can't really do that because my neck is hurting me, but you have to almost come up to the crown of your head and get your shoulders off. Things like that. You can practice that at home in your bed, coming up, getting those shoulders off, bringing that hand here, things like that. When you're on your belly, we'll do some of these on the bed. One of the things you want to do is when we bring those legs together, people love to go here. That looks lazy and your butt's flat on that one. Whereas if you bring those knees together, that just looks a little bit better versus here, okay? So the knees are always gonna be together, legs might be like this, they might be crossed, whatever. With the hands, you don't wanna push on the face and you don't wanna be here. If you come up here, this just looks a little bit better. Oops, my knees came apart versus there. Rolling onto that hip might be something like this. Notice my back legs are still bent, one's more than the other, but I'm putting a little bit more, I'm rolled onto my hip. So it could be something like that. Let's see, what else do you need to know? I know there is more and I'm missing stuff and I'm trying to quickly do this so you ladies have something. Knee poses, we'll do this on the bed. We might do that here in this set. When you're on your knees, again, I sometimes have you split a little bit at the knees. When you hear me say tighten the abs, that's my way of saying suck it in without having to use the word suck in because my mind goes like, oh my gosh, my belly. So just nice, tighten the abs, inhale it. Roll those shoulders back. I have you sit back on your heels, split at the knees, and I might say, work that right shoulder forward, turn chin forward down just a little bit, bring that hand here. So that could be like a pose. Well, your hair's not gonna do it, mine just did, that was awful. But it might be something like that. I might have you flip your hair over. We might do something like that. But the biggest thing when you're doing this, sit back on those heels, nice, tall, proud chest, roll those shoulders back and keep them away from the ear. Maybe you work a shoulder forward like that. When you're up on the knees, again, I still like to have one leg higher than the other. We do that when we're on our knees by just simply bringing one up higher than the other, sliding it forward. When you pop that hip, again, nice, tall, proud chest, it's just a simple little pop of the hip, just like that, okay? Looking down there. People love to come here. They love to lean in too much to it. It's just sit nice and tall and proud, pop that hip, that's it. Sometimes on the bed, because it's super soft, you have to really kind of widen that stance a little bit just to kind of get your grip, but still, that's all the pop you need. Sometimes I'll tell you hinge at the hips to me. That just means a little bit more forward. So it's just a little bit. So I might say hinge at the hips and lean in with that right shoulder. It might be something like that. But notice I'm not here. I'm here with it. Looks much sexier in a bra and panty set versus my outfit, but you know what I mean. So those are your knee poses. Let's see, what other ones do we do on the bed? Biggest thing is arching that back. For my girls who have longer hair, when we go to lay down, you'll hear me say split your hair at the middle and then bring it down by your side and let it drop from there. I'll show you why I don't want you to split it out to the sides. You don't want to look like Krusty the Clown on The Simpsons, okay? So I'll tell my girls, do this with it, let the hair fall, and then let me fix it from there. People love to go here. Looks like Krusty the Clown to me. Sorry, just does. Sometimes, you know, mine kind of fell nicely there, and I might even bring it around a little bit. But if you're laying down, just split it here, bring it down, let it go by your sides there, and then I'll fix it from what needs to be. Just remember always pinning those knees together, coming up on the toes, getting the heels off. If you have heels on the bed, come to the heel, point the toes down. Pinning the elbow to the face is this versus here. That looks better. Still pulling those shoulders away, chin up a little bit, arch that neck up. That looks really pretty, working that shoulder forward right there. Fingers, remember, nice soft fingers, just like that. I know there's more. I know there's more, and if there's more, we'll do another video and I'll send that one out. Let's see, we talked about the looks. We didn't talk about the looks and breathing. Okay, so this one's super duper important. When you're breathing, you don't have to pucker your lips. If I tell you to take a nice big inhale and exhale, you just part your lips a little bit and it's just breathing normal, just a bigger breath. That's all you want. We don't want to go, because we don't want the puckering of the lips in there. Just I'll tell you to do that with your eyes open and closed. So here it is with the eyes closed. Here's it with the eyes open. There's that certain point in that release that relaxes the face and it just looks sexy. I'm horrible with smiling with the eyes. People can do it, but you know, you can kind of like flirt with the camera, laugh. You'll hear me say like part the lip. I'll have you do where I'll say, okay, I want you to inhale. And as you exhale, you're gonna drop the shoulders and lift the chin. That looks something like that, okay? So again, and then I'll have you do it again with your eyes open when you exhale. Here's what that looks like. I'll do it one more time. I know it sounds funny we're breathing, but we do breathe a lot in our session, but that's how we get the relaxation and those sexy looks that we all want. See? Perfect. I feel really silly doing this for you guys, but we do it in a one-on-one session, so yeah. Let's see here. What else do you need to know? Those are breathing, those are looks. You can kind of look, you know, silly, looking down the shoulder line, laughing. We do a lot of fake laugh, have fun there. Hands, I know there's more and I'm missing more, but that's all I can remember for right now. I hope this helps you. If I think of other tips after watching this, I'll record a second video and post it and email it out. But that's just some little posing 101 that you want to think about. You know, it's never too much to kind of, oh, I forgot to do pulling of the arms. Hold on. Okay. So when you're pulling on clothing, couple things. We all have a different length of arms. When we're pulling, we don't want T-Rex arms. So if you ever feel like you're in T-Rex mode, flip the hands down like this, okay? And pull and tug. Some girls can do it like this. Some girls can't. It just depends on the length of the arms. You either end up looking T-Rex, which we don't ever want, so we flip the wrist down. But when you pull and tug on things, you know, it might be something like this, might be something like this, whatever it might be. But pulling and tugging, you know, things like that. So like for me, I probably wouldn't do it this way because I feel like that looks a little T-Rexy. I might pull down this way and maybe flick this one up that way. But just think of that. If you ever feel like your hands go T-Rex, just flip the wrist down. Again, one hand's always gonna be higher than the other wherever we're tugging. I think that's it. If I have more, I promise I'll post, but I hope this helps. And I will see you on Friday.